Last week in Hockenheim, the rain was the great equalizer and the great chaos maker. The wet condition turned the race into a battle of survival with accidents aplenty, including heartbreak for pole sitter Nathan's performance to take the overall win. Meanwhile, Miguel Alcrudo not only held his own against the Pro Class drivers, but also secured the AM Class win in commanding fashion. Now, the TORQ Sports Car Series heads to Sebring, a track as unforgiving as it is legendary, as the bumps, the history, and the challenge await. We go green on the rough and rugged runways of Sebring, live next on ASN. Our venue for this evening is the virtual Sebring International Raceway, a circuit rich in endurance racing history. Built on a former airfield in 1950, this 3.74-mile track is infamous for its brutally bumpy surface and technical layout that tests both driver skill and car durability. Key corners include Turn 1, a high-speed challenge over rough pavement, and Sunset Bend, a long, sweeping right-hand corner that demands patience and precision. Home to the legendary 12 Hours of Sebring, this track has seen some of the most grueling and dramatic moments in sports car racing history, making it a true test of endurance. The format for the TORQ Sports Car Series is as follows. We are finishing open practice now, which leads us into a 15-minute qualifying session to determine the grid for our 45-minute race. As the 7th season of the TORQ Sports Car Series continues tonight live on the Automotive Sports Network, with Bryan Sawyer in the production truck and also next to me in the commentary box. My name is Josh Mertz as we welcome you to Sebring, Florida. Cameras all season on ASN are brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/WSimCams. And thank you, Andrew Cardinale IV, for your camera support. Mr. Bryan Sawyer, we had the rain last week, resulting in quite the show for us and quite the challenge for our drivers. And I think we're back to our regularly scheduled programming regarding the Puerto Ricans. It was disrupted last week by Corey Allen. So how are you, and what are your thoughts?
Hey, Josh. I love Sebring. It's bumpy as hell, but it's a great track. I'm a little biased and go. It's not too hard of a trip. But yeah, this is gonna be a great race. It's Florida. It looks like it's getting a little dark out. I don't think we're gonna see rain. I didn't see anything on the forecast, so looking pretty good. Glad to be here.
The radar lists partly cloudy and 80 degrees, just like a normal evening in Florida. Humidity. You're going to have some lizards running around. Going to be a good time here in Sebring. Let's take a look. What do you want to do, Bryan? Programming notes or points or whatever we want to do before we head into qualifying here.
Qualifying starting right now, so let's hit the points.
Drivers' Championship. Edgar Ruiz up by 3 over Hector Alvarez, Corey Allen, Jose DeLeo, Miguel Colon, Coxon, Odell, Delgado, Arens, and Saunders, the top 10. And in the AM class, we will take a look at those as well. Miguel Alcrudo ahead of Cato, Newsom, Doive, Davis, Kelly, Gatz, Lopez, Otani, and Palermo. In the Teams Championship, is it one of the 9 Puerto Rican teams? Let's see, 375 to 360. So I-75 holding their own in a sea of Puerto Rican teams, as it's 4 out of the top 5, and what is that, 7 out of the top 10 represented by that group of guys. Crazy to see. And the Manufacturers' Championship, McLaren by 11 over Porsche, Corvette, Lamborghini, Acura, BMW, Ford, Ferrari, and Mercedes-Benz. First car on track, Christian Oquendo, car number 21. Actually, it was Dustin Doive. I stand corrected, in car 27. Beginning qualifying here in Sebring. 15 minutes, 3 laps. I've always thought it's a little bit weird, Bryan, that we have a 15-minute qualifying session, but only 3 laps. And that it's lone, at least in GT road racing. You would think that it would be 15 open minutes, and everyone's on track. A little bit different, though.
Yeah, I like 15 open minutes. Open, in my opinion, is a little more fun, especially on larger tracks and especially in sports car series. It's you get to strategize a little better when you get to go out and Hey, there's a minute left. Let me try and throw one screaming lap down and see what I can do.
Or you get lucky with slipstream and the other guy you're battling doesn't get lucky. Or there's an incident with a yellow flag you have to slow down, avoid. Or, of course, we never really want to wish this, but if someone crashes, you get caught up in it. Your competitor gets caught up in it. A lot more variables. As Dustin Doivay heads towards Sunset Bend to begin his first clock lap in car number 27, let's take a look at some programming notes on the Automotive Sports Network. As our next broadcast will be round 2. Eastern, Evan McFarlane, Kieran Lifflander. Evan had some issues in turn 1 in Charlotte last week. Kieran romped away with the win, but Zach Blanche showed impressive pace in car number 2. You'll join myself and Bryan Sawyer for that. NASA Rallycross Futures on ASN Plus, Sunday the 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern. That is at Indianapolis Raceway Park for their third round of the championship. And then you'll shift over from ASN Plus to ASN Live for NASA Rallycross Lights World Championship at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then we're going to have Josh Darnell and Stephen Moreau again hanging out for those races. NASA Rallycross Contenders on Monday the 17th, 9 p.m. Eastern, also in Indianapolis. You'll have Bryan Sawyer, Justin Robichaux for that. And our next round for the TORQ Sports Car Series will be the 20th of March at Silverstone in the United Kingdom. That'll be 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Bryan Sawyer, myself, Josh Mertz for that. So, slightly smaller field today. I think I counted about 27 cars, but I'm trusting that we're going to have as good of a race as ever, Mr. Bryan Sawyer. And I wanted to try and find Dustin Doivay, but he actually got passed in qualifying by Miguel Alcrudo. So Alcrudo a little bit faster than the 27. So if we can pick up Alcrudo in the 5:44. And I believe, like we mentioned in the opener, he won last week in the AM class.
Yeah. You see the car that goes out first get passed by somebody behind them. That somebody behind them, in this case Alcrudo, must be really flying right now.
As the Lamar corners turn 15 and 16 down the Ullman Straight, we'll notice that they'll go a little wide on entry to turn 16, almost replicating NASCAR non-existent track limits. I don't entirely know why, but that's been the line at Sebring for as long as I've been watching racing here. So, Alcrudo off the final corner. Sunset Bend, difficult to spot the apex because of all the bumps across the line in the 5:44. First lap time clock is a 2-minute 1.138. Christian Oquendo immediately pips him at a 2-minute 0.561. Doivay's first lap didn't count.
Returned.
It's okay. Did you have a dog issue again?
She stole a flash drive and ran away.
Now he's in 13th, got pipped by Luis Ortiz for the 12th spot.
Next car coming across is Wilton pulling around. Then Corey Allen will be right after that. Wilton pulling around pulls a 2:03.9. Corey Allen a 2-minute flat. Puts Corey up to 4th.
Corey Allen, the winner from last week in the Porsche. No rain here.
In the AM class, just took the AM class lead at 2 minutes 0.715. 2 tenths off of Allen.
4 tenths away from Miguel Alcrudo. 2 minutes, or 4 tenths up, I should say. As we looked at, I didn't catch who that was. Apologies for that one. To see who just stopped on the road.
Do we know what class Hector Alvarez is? Internally, it just shows Hector Alvarez. Doesn't have a class next to his name.
Well, I think he was a pro driver because what happened was he somehow got removed from the league. They had to re-add him because he's second in points and he wasn't in the league. I don't know what happened. Long story short, though, I believe he has a pro car. So
yeah, I see a blue plate next to his name. There's nothing internally telling me what he is.
So let's see. Let's pick a car.
Slew of cars coming through right now.
Rafael Sosa to 11th. 2-minute 2.0. Kretschmer in the Mustang. Pole sitter from last week in Hockenheim, now 11th. Padovani to 7th. Kretschmer across the line. And the second lap, he either didn't count. Oh, it did count, but he didn't improve. So Kretschmer will add 10 spots to where he started last week. So, while we have a moment, I say let's ride on board Hector Alvarez. He's coming down the Ullman Straight to Sunset Bend Let's enjoy this lap at Sebring. I want to break out of this really quick. Aquendo's coming off the final corner across the line. I want to see if he can challenge Alvarez on his final lap. And it does not count for Aquendo. Michael Odell has given up. No, he hasn't. Let's try and pick him up. He's further up the track. Actually, him and Alvarez and Odell are neck and neck. First and third in qualifying. And he rode on board going into turn one, and internally I've got a different camera looking on the exterior of the car, and the bumpy nature of this track, like we said in the opener, it's a fascinating and terrifying track. Alvarez sliding through the corner off monitor. I'm keeping an eye on car number 6. Now we head back to him. He was a full 4-wheel slide through turn 15, fully committed, as he's only up by less than 1/10 of a second. Let's call it 1/10 of a second on Michael Odell. And now we head down to Sunset Bend. Odell's going to get to the checkered flag first. So will he improve his position? He was a millimeter away from that inside wall. Odell, who's been sprinkling in these TORQ races with his real-world commitments across the line, it didn't count. Alvarez crosses the line. He does not improve, but he holds provisional pole. And that's Palermo crossing the line to 19th. And our next car will be Travis Newsom in the 19. Let's try and pick him up down the Ullman straightaway to Sunset Bend. Into the final corner.
I can't.
There we go.
Who am
That's
I looking
okay.
for?
Travis Newsom in the 19.
I found it.
Final corner. As the lights turn on here in Sebring, Florida, across the line goes the 19. 2 minutes 0.688. He improves, but does not improve his position. Stays 5th quickest. And Bryan, I think that's nearly the end of qualifying. We got Darius Timms in the 031 crossing the line, 2 minute 1.7. He did not improve. He's got 1 lap left. Guillermo Seguenza in the 17 has a lap and a quarter left. As looks like 26 cars. We do have Jeff Sepulveda, and I think that's Dylan Clark. You'll notice on the graphic, race control. Not sure why they popped up like that, but we got live stewards tonight, which is cool, at least I hope. And Tim's down the straightaway. I'm looking at Guillermo Seguenza off monitor. He's through Sunset Bend, the final corner. And on the front straightaway, will the 17 improve from 21st quickest across the line, 2 minute 4.7? He does not. We head back to Darius Timms, who's the last car on a lap. I say we can finish that onboard piece, Bryan. Let's ride on board Darius here. And Tim's down the Ullman Straight to Sunset Bend for the final time in qualifying. Shout out to everyone hanging out with us. Got 10 so far. Hopefully it picks up in the next couple minutes when we get to the end of qualifying and begin the race here in Sebring. Under the lights. And Tim's crosses the line, currently 11th quick. He does not improve, so he stays 11th quickest. Back to Seguenza. I stand corrected. Seguenza has a lap left. Oh, massive oversteer into the corner. Missed the apex by a mile, Bryan.
Yeah. A little wide there. But it's showing him up on his best time right now, so.
As it'll stay partly cloudy. The wind east-southeast at 4 miles an hour all evening long. It's going to cool down maybe a degree or two, but not by much. Seguenza through Sunset Bend and down the front straightaway in Sebring and across the line. His lap does not count. And that is qualifying done and dusted, but we've got some visitors in regards to Michael Odell. So let's take a look at Odell, final car on track, and enjoy the Corvette here at Sebring.
Have a good time. Apologies if you're getting any stuttering. It's a YouTube thing tonight. It's not a me thing. Everything's all healthy over here, and I can see I'm outputting. And if you roll back the stream a little bit, it fixes itself. But
it's interesting. I haven't had any issues.
Do any YouTube things?
I haven't had any issues internally or on YouTube. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Thank you, Stephen Moreau, hanging out, moderating the chat for us. I'll publicly say you did a wonderful job on Sunday, my friend. Awesome to see you helping us out. And I just want to remind everyone, if you like what you see tonight, be sure to like and subscribe to the Automotive Sports Network on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Ring the bell on whatever platform it may be to be notified when we go live weekly, along with our short-form video content. Don't forget about ASN Plus, $1 a month currently. It'll get you access to the NASA Rallycross Futures broadcast, and there's some huge things planned in the future for our membership service. And it's awesome to see that at least 5 of us are involved in ASN Plus. I say that because I'm not sure of the exact number, but it's awesome to see. Qualifying has ended, and we will take a look at the grid for Sebring. On pole position, Hector Alvarez by less than 1/10 of a second over Christian Oquendo. And it's Michael Odell, Corey Allen, Travis Newsom, Cameron Dick, Norman Padovani, Miguel Alcrudo, Armando Arenz, and Manuel Sandoval through 10th. In 11th will be Darius Timms. Then it's Nathan Kretschmer, Luis Ortiz, Rafael Sosa, Dan Carrito, Jeff Cartwright, Ian Bacadis, Juan Chiriquena, Wilton Palermo, and Juan Hidalgo through 20th. In 21st, Guillermo Seguenza, Ramon Vasquez, Skylar Somerville, Dustin Doive, Eddie Boyles, and Tyler Cato, 26th, and Shotgun on the field. Tell you what, Alvarez and Oquendo, less than 1/10 of a second apart, Bryan. And if they crash, Michael Odell's going to love that. What are we thinking?
I don't know. I don't want to see any crashes, Josh.
I don't die.
Cars. I want to see it all. I want to see them all sticking on.
And we've got a full pace lap apparently in Sebring. So we're going to be hanging out and waiting. Is everybody gridding up? And we roll in Sebring. As I'm not sure how Hector Alvarez got removed from the league because he finished second in Road Atlanta, one in Fuji, and then he did not race in Monza, and in Hockenheim he did not race. So I'm not sure what happened. And Bryan has told me that we have 12 ASN Plus members. So thank you, Bryan, for giving me that exact information, and that is awesome to see. like I said, we're gonna have quite the amount of content. You might publicly see me fumbling my way through an OBS control box and commentating some Rocket League. I really wanted to do that, but we'll see. Some goodies, some behind the scenes, NASA Rallycross futures, and like we've mentioned, if you like your content broadcast at asntvUSA.com, if you'd like to join the team, asntvUSA.com. Shout out to Josh Darnell putting our site together. Brian, I have to out you on a live stream. Apparently, he's waiting for information from you.
I'm aware.
To make the site public. I just attempt to roast you any chance I get. I know it doesn't work. Okay. But I have two Porsches on the front row. Then it's a Porsche and a Corvette. Then it's a Porsche and a Porsche. Almost like Porsche is the preferred model here in the TORQ Sports Car Series. "45 minutes.
It's gonna get real dark, Josh. There's no lights at this track, I believe. I think on the
only on the front straight, I think. Yep. And there's a few floodlights. If we zoom out far enough, you see the floodlights along the outside of the track.
But there's not a whole lot.
There's not a lot. It's gonna be, and I have a feeling that these guys might not have practiced at night. I know we had an issue in the GT4 series where it was pitch black for that race.
Who needs to practice?
So
you got headlights. Make your own day.
Listen.
Bring the sun with you.
At least it's not as bad as when we had the Night Rider in NASA Rallycross.
I mean, that was great.
That was a good time. ASN on demand for that race. It was 2023B Sonoma. Great time. That was such a great race.
Don't never forget about mountains.
So, 26 cars, 45 minutes. We round turn 15, heading down the Ullman Straight, the last time pacing at 65 miles an hour. Looks a lot like a traffic jam on whatever local interstate you have. I can tell you that I-65 in Northwest Indiana, it looks like that. You got trucks drag racing. It's not a fun time. But in a couple seconds, we are not going to be going 65 miles an hour. We're going to be going much faster than that, heading towards the bumpy turn 1, and we've seen calamity in the past seasons here in Sebring. Hector Alvarez and Christian Oquendo on the front row of the grid. The darkness has faded, the track is bumpy and super grippy, 80 degrees. Safety cars off. Thanks for joining us on ASN. For Alvarez on the front row of the grid. Then it's Oquendo, side by side. Odell looking on Oquendo, trying to clear Allen side by side into turn 1. Odell trying, hanging there is Oquendo to the curb. They nearly touch through turn 1. Single file clean. Bacadis and Cartwright side by side in the back half of the field. And they are still dueling with Odell and Oquendo rounding the first couple of corners through turn 5 to turn 6, Big Bend. In turn 7, the hairpin, one of the best overtaking opportunities on this track. Corey Allen slipstreaming Oquendo. Will he look driver's left? He does. Oquendo defends. Very far right is Oquendo, not giving him any room. Allen has to hit the binders, and Cameron Dick thought about it in the 32. Changed cars, I think. Did the 32 through the week to the Porsche. Darius Timms and Nathan Kretschmer for 11th and 12th. We've got Rafael Sosa and Ian Bacadis. Bacadis gaining. Battling for the 15th position. Bacadis clears him. No pressure up
Sosa
front.
takes it back.
No chaos either. Somerville and Hidalgo battling for 20th. We've got Sosa battling and taking the spot back from Bacadis. We had, forgive me, I had a green light on my timing. It was Cato and Doive for 25th and last. Battling. Newsom moves to 6th ahead of Padavani. And so everyone is running a little bit wide, entering turn 16 to the Ullman Straight. And there's numerous different lines, despite running wide, that you can run. No matter how much you want to sacrifice that corner or the straightaway into Sunset Bend. And Bryan, it is, like we've said, getting darker and darker. The sun is gone. Ortiz passes Kretschmer for 12th. And now you have to hope that you've practiced in the dark. Because even on this front straightaway, it is barely lit. One car to the wall. It was Newsom, barely. And Luis Ortiz has crashed in Sunset Bend. Oh, massive hit. And he was battling Kretschmer. And did they net code? They did. Into the final corner. Ortiz slid. He tried to save it. Slammed into the wall. Our first
We'll take a look back
of the
at
evening.
it. We'll go find it. See what happens. Yeah, he just slid. Lost all control of the car. Front bumper just gone.
Yeah, he net coded with Kretschmer. There was about a foot between them. Uncontrollable slide. Got some position changes. Boyles and Somerville and Cato and Hidalgo for last, battling like it's for the World Championship. Alvarez has gapped Odell by a second.
I gotta say, Josh, during the start, second through fifth, where everybody was so close together that I thought Alvarez was the pace car. He was so far in front of them.
Apparently, you're very quiet, Brian, and I am very loud. But that's normal.
I'll figure it out.
We're figuring it out. So, Alvarez by 0.9 of a second over Michael Odell. And Odell, last lap, oh, granted, it was the first lap. So let's wait and see how lap times roll in. But Alvarez clipped the curb through turn 16.
Looks like we lost Tyler Cato also. Let's see what happened to him.
Taking a look at the 18, heading down to turn number 7. Did he lock up the brakes? That was never going to work. We got hit. Why is that Doive? No, it's not. I apologize. Juan Hidalgo got him.
Real hard on the brakes,
23.
He almost took that car to a complete stop, and no wonder he was getting hit there.
Bryan, did you out me in the chat and you said that I never shut up? Was that you?
Yeah.
That's fine. At least, you're not wrong. So, you said that Odell walled the gap back. He was 0.2 closer, and Alvarez gapped him by 4 more tenths. Dustin Doive hitting in the 27. He is in 25th. Ramon Vasquez and Bacatus. Can we head back to this? This is for 17th. And Ramon Vasquez, who in the 24, I think had a podium finish, or very close to a podium finish at some point this season in the back of the field. We've also lost Dustin Doive, just so. Second retirement. Only 24 cars left after 5 minutes.
Down 2's not bad off the start there. It gets dark.
No,
it gets a little hairier.
Worse.
Only losing 2 at the beginning of the race. Not terrible.
And there's no big crashes like we've seen before. How can we forget that incident at Road America? And that was in the daytime. And we had that massive crash. We had
Still one of my favorite
that
incidents.
full course yellow. I need to go back and watch that. That was an interesting race. Was that with the GTPs, or was that just a GT3 race?
That was with everybody, and I remember GTPs got a little mad at the full course caution as they were like, "We're gone." What do you mean?
Well, you're not by yourself, guys. So, Timms and Kretschmer for 11th, Bryan. We've got Nathan Kretschmer down.
Alrighty.
Down the back straightaway. Kretschmer gaining half a car length. Even to him, side by side to Sunset Bend. Timms backs out, trying to over-under potentially off of Sunset Bend. So this track is so terrifying when you get it right. Kretschmer takes the spot.
Let's go on board, Timms.
Slipstream him down the front straightaway.
It's not too bad right now. You can still see you got a little bit of sunlight left.
And it's McLaren versus Ford Mustang. Apparently you are louder now, Bryan, so I'm not droning you out.
I figured it out. I mean, you can hear me how loud I am. You just never tell me when I'm quiet.
I hear you at the same volume. I don't listen externally, so thanks to our wonderful viewers for
your ears are broken.
Telling us that. My ears are broken?
Yeah.
I did wear a Best Buy headset for 6 years, and it made my ears ring all the time, so yeah. Welcome to the Josh and Bryan podcast, sprinkled in with some racing. So, I'm looking at this timing tower, and it's all red. We got battles everywhere. Kretschmer's within 3/10. Rakenna and Cartwright. Great camera work, Brian. Reading my mind. And Cartwright passes Rakenna for the 15th spot. Right behind them is Ramon Vasquez in the 24.
Passes him, pulls away fully. 6/10 up. Just off of 2 turns there. Vasquez looks like he's going to take over Rakenna also.
Vasquez was only 2/10 off on that flying lap there.
And Vasquez is
Missed
here.
the corner entry. Super late on the brakes for the 24. Trying to take a look. I think
Corey
we're going to
Allen
have
closing
Quendo
in on
and
the
Allen.
Kendo. Yep.
We are in sync. This is marvelous. Corey Allen down the Ullman straight, slipstreaming 142.34. I think he's got a couple miles an hour. Did Oquendo let him go? Looks like he might have. Or is Oquendo going to try and get the slipstream down the front straight?
Yeah, he might not have wanted to
First
take it side by side into the turn. Back where we just were, though, Vasquez did get by Rakenna. So, why don't you lost 2 spots this lap?
Corey Allen, Christian Oquendo, Cameron Dick. They are all within, let's call half a second. And let's include Travis Newsom in that. We've got 4 cars, really 5 if you include Al Crudo, potentially battling for the podium. I know it's just about 10 minutes in, but we've got 5 cars battling for a podium spot. And Travis Newsom has 6 seconds, or sorry, I misread that, half a second over. Newsom over Al Crudo's half a second for the AM class battle. So...
It just
second and a half from Alvarez to Odell.
took a second, looked through the positions, gained and lost throughout the race. Not much movement. I mean, the people that are out dropped a significant amount, but that's about it. Everybody else is maybe 1 or 2 spots off from where they started.
I want to give a shout out to Hector Alvarez with that impressive start. I cannot recall what the start rules actually are, if it's safety car or iRacing throwing the green or the leader's discretion, but he left. He said, "Sayonara, boys. I'm going to go win this race."
So I said
He
I
left
thought
everyone in
he
his
was
spot.
I thought he was still the pace car, and I was like, why has the pace car not left the track yet? Nope, that's just Hector.
Pretty calm through the field so far. Closest battle we have is 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th to an extent. We have on the battle box bottom right corner. I'm going to give a public shout out again, and I know I give this to you every single week, Brian, but all the work that you have done to make our broadcasts look exceptional. Consistent compliments from everyone involved, everyone that watches them. Got a coworker of mine watches all the shows. Told me this morning, he said, "Dude, it looks realistic. It looks like real life. It looks like you're in the front row of the grandstands." He said that in a meeting at work a couple weeks ago, and I said, "Steve, stop it. What are you doing?" So, 1.7 seconds from Alvarez to Odell. That hasn't changed. Allen, Oquendo, Dick, Newsom, Al Crudo through turn 1. Cameron Dick had a much better run. No, he didn't. Off the road, mowing the lawn in the 32. And that apex into turn 1, very tricky. The wall's there, so it's hard to spot it. You could kiss that wall and end up in the grass like we've seen before.
To me, it looked like Allen went a little wide there, and Dick locked on and went a little wider and started mowing the lawn.
Lawnmower blades sold out at the Porsche factory. There's everybody running wide here at Sebring with all the grass cut up. And we ride on board Cameron Dick in the 32. Much later on the brakes compared to Oquendo. The last lap for Cameron Dick was a 2-minute 1.5, 2-minute 1.6 for Oquendo, 2-minute 1.4 for Corey Allen. Dare I say it, no disrespect, Corey, if you watch this back, is Corey Allen holding these guys up. He's faster, but you got the little train of cars here.
It could be. I don't think by much, though. I mean, between Oquendo and him, it's 4/10. I mean, if Oquendo was like real, if Oquendo was really there, he'd be like Dick is to Oquendo, 2/10 off right there.
Michael Odell has cut the gap from 1.7 to 1.3. He was up by 2/10 that last time around. We'll see the lap times unravel again for lap 6. here in a moment. Looking to the inside is Cameron Dick on Oquendo. Let's update lap times for the top 7 in real time. Hector Alvarez, 2-minute 1.4, 2-minute 1.1 for Odell, 2-minute 1.4 Corey Allen, 2-minute 1.6 for Oquendo, 0.6 for Dick, 0.4 for Newsom, 0.9 for Al Crudo. Gap hovering about a second and a half. Let's take a look. Do we have a battle? Is it Cadis and Palermo? This is for 18. About a quarter of a second between these two. And I was just about to say, let's go back and take a look at that battle, but this battle has not subsided yet in the front of the field. Let's see. Norman Padovani in the 004 in the 9th position.
I think Palermo's going to make the move here. He's getting closer.
Down to turn 7. Cadis ran a 2-minute 3.5 last lap. 2-minute 3.1 for Palermo. We brought on board the 91. And now there's no sunlight, Bryan. You are relying on your lights to guide you through this track. Especially if
you were right there.
Traffic.
There is absolutely nothing for track lights out here. Just a couple street lights here and there. They're not.
The street lights are probably to help the fans who might have had a drink or two find their way back to their seats, their camper, their tent, whatever it may be. It's not for the drivers at all. And that's what the challenge is here in Sebring. And that's what's interesting about the real world endurance racing. You go from the high banks of Daytona, all lit up because of the oval, and then you go to this rugged and rough and dark, effectively, compared to Daytona, street circuit. And Arens and Padovani for the 8th position. Quarter of a second in it. And Alvarez has responded to Odell, 2-minute 1.1 to a 2-minute 1.4. He's gapped him by a couple more tenths of a second. And Padovani slipstreaming down to turn number 3 on Arens. He was 4 tenths up on Arens that last time around. So the 7 to the 004. And then Manuel Sandoval in the Porsche. Close behind as well in the 420.
It's been a while. Let's go take a look at our guys up front. See how they're doing.
2 seconds is the gap from Odell to Alvarez.
See if I can get
Let's
them
run
both
on board.
camera. I can get them both on camera. All 3, the top 3. Corey Allen there with his little train behind him. And we got Odell and Alvarez even further up. From the front two, I'm liking these gaps I have.
Battle between Padovani and Arens is not over for 8th. It's still hovering around a quarter of a second. Looks like this is the best battle that we have currently going on. I'm curious to see when
trying
comes
to
unraveled.
catch up on his teammate Carrito that back there for 14th also. But I doubt they'll try anything super spicy since they are teammates.
Well, we've seen so many times before in NASA and in TORQ what happens when the Saints and Sinners boys get too close. And it usually involves a lot of crumpled sheet metal.
Usually in
Padovani
TORQ, though, it's
is a
bunch
tenth
of pool
behind
shots.
Arens. If we can catch Arens and Padovani in the Sunset Bend. Thank you, Bryan. Exceptional.
I know what you
into
want.
Sunset Bend. And Padovani early on the brakes, maybe to get an over-under. Through the final corner. Let's see lap times between Arens and Padovani. Gap is 2.6 up front by the race lead. Arens, 2-minute 2.4, 2-minute 2.5 for Padovani. The only cars... Actually, Michael Odell, I think, made a mistake in the 197 because his last lap time was a 2-minute 1.9. Alvarez, 2-minute 1.0. Curious to see what happened as we still look at Padovani versus Arens. I'm taking a look off monitor to see what happened, if I can roll it back.
Yeah, Odell just ran about a second slower last lap. It was a 2:01.0 to 2:01.9.
So, lap 9 of an estimated 23 tonight in Sebring. In the gap, Padovani and Arens. Looks like that's our closest battle right now. Cartwright and Corrido as well. Battle between the teammates. Allen, Aquendo, Dick, Newsom, Al Crudo. They are still close as well. But everyone kind of in their own little brackets. Allen a 2-minute 1.2. Aquendo a 0.3. Cameron Dick a 0.4. Newsom a 0.5. Al Crudo a 0.7. They're all a tenth or two away from each other. There's no real overlap, Bryan.
No, yeah, Corey Allen has started to pulled out a little bit. It's 5/10 now, moving up closer to 6. Cameron Dick still about a second off of Aquendo, so they're all spacing out a little bit, but it's still anybody's race. I mean, one bad lap and there's a battle again. So Padovani's still trying to make it happen. Keeps getting close, just can't make the race happen or the pass happen.
About 15 of us hanging out with us tonight for the TORQ Sports Car Series in Sebring. Bryan Sawyer, Josh Mertz along for the ride for round number 5 of season 7.
We might have it right here, Josh. This is the closest you've been
ahead.
At the end of this straight.
Padovani down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Arens misses the apex by about half a car width. And off the runway, through the kink here of turn 2 to the hard braking of turn 3. Padovani sends it. Arens leaves the door open. They touch nearly on exit. And Arens holds it through 3. That's a tricky spot to pass. I'm surprised. Padovani's going to get the slipstream off of 5 through 6 Big Bend. Turn 7 would be a better opportunity to slipstream and pass. It is Porsche versus Acura under the Mobile 1 bridge. Down to the braking zone. Will Padovani send it deep on the brakes? He had to move. Otherwise, he was going to hit right into the back of Arens. Padovani to 8th.
Yeah, I think we'll see Padovani just kind of start to gap him up here. He kept falling back and then getting close and then falling back and getting close. Clearly faster than Arens. So, unless Arens is going to take it right back. Call me a liar. They touch. Knocks Padovani a little wide, but Arens just says, no, that's my spot. You're not taking it.
That was an impressive move. Padovani left the door open, and these two dogfighting for the 8th position. I was going to step aside and go ASN nonstop, but we can't leave this battle alone. They both clipped the curb.
Sandoval's making his way into the picture.
And Padovani gaining, looking drivers right through Bishop, turn 14 to 15 and 16. And here is Sandoval. Has had some good runs in the TORQ Sports Car Series through 16. Multiple lines, so bumpy, but you have to get this right for the run down the Ullman Straight. Now,
I think Sandoval's going to be the big winner here. I think these two might touch.
They got very close through turn 3. Looks like they hit in 13 as well the last time around into Sunset Bend. Down a couple gears. 3rd gear. Don't hit the wall. Try and get the bite off the corner. Padovani nearly hits the grass.
Sandoval
pits. Good call. Pit. Utilize this time. Get the clear track, and you might be able to jump these guys. As much as I don't want to step away from this battle for the 8th position, we're about halfway through. Pit stops are beginning shortly. You're not going to miss a thing. We'll go ASN nonstop from Florida.
That you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to NordVPN.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move. And he takes the lead and holds it.
Side between these two in the turn one. This is going to get spicy.
Exiting turn one, over the jump to begin the first lap. Clog is the inside line. McFarland contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. From the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Dragster acing the entry to turn one, up Betty to the inside of Magnus, gives him a nudge. The grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Magnus will hold his spot. We welcome you back to round 5 of season 7 of the TORQ Sports Car Series from the Sebring International Raceway in Sebring, Florida, with Bryan Sawyer in the production truck and also next to me in the commentary box. My name is Josh Mertz, live on the Automotive Sports Network. I've got some programming notes and stuff that I want to go through, but I want to update people of what happened during the ASN nonstop break. We have lost Michael O'Dell. He is sitting in the pit lane. He actually is disconnected from the session now. Fortunately,
look back at
we got
Josh.
word his VR quit on him, and he had to pull over and park, and that's so frustrating because breaking the fourth wall, you think video game. I'm not supposed to have any issues like that, but Bryan, VR failing, that's a mechanical failure equivalent in the real world.
Yep, I've had it happen. It's not a fun one. You're sitting there and you rip the headset off over your head. You try and drive and hope it regains tracking.
But I just want to remind everyone that cameras all season on ASN, brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/WSimCams. And thank you, Andrew Cardinale, for all of your camera support. And if you like what you see tonight, be sure to like and subscribe to the Automotive Sports Network on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube. Ring the bell, no matter the platform, to be notified of our live streams weekly, along with our short-form video content as well. Some programming notes before we head back into the race in Sebring. Our next broadcast will be round 2 of the NASA Rallycross World Championship. That will be Saturday the 15th, 2 p.m. Eastern. Bryan Sawyer, myself, Josh Mertz. For that, Evan McFarland, Kieran Lifflander, round, let's call it 25 at this point, as they have been dueling for the last year or so. NASA Rallycross Futures on Sunday on ASN+. You'll have Stephen Moreau, Josh Darnell. That's 16th, 8 p.m. Eastern. At Indianapolis, Lights World Championship following that on ASN Live on the 16th, 9 p.m. Eastern. You'll have Bryan Sawyer and Justin Robichaux for NASA Rallycross Contenders on Monday, and our next round on Thursday for TORQ Sports Car. So what is this battle for? Manuel Sandoval, is he Arenz, Kretschmer? They've been dueling through the break. Arenz is the meat and the sandwich here in the Porsche compared to the Mustang, and the other Porsche looks drivers right, looks drivers left. He is there. Sandoval thought about cutting left, As they nearly touch on corner entry, Arends came across, trying the outside. He nudges him. Again, They touch. Here comes Kretschmer, 3 wide, looking right. They touch again. And Arends takes the spot. Sandoval I would not be happy if I'm Sandoval, Bryan. You lost 2 spots. He gets in, gives him a nudge, just like it's Bristol in the NASCAR Cup Series, and Sandoval trying to find a way around. I have a correction from our informant. It was not the Oculus contact again between Arends and Sandoval spins it, and so does Arends. The battle is over for the 8th spot. It was a brake pedal failure for Michael Odell.
You knew it was coming, Josh. Not the brake pedal failure, but the incident between them.
And Sandoval spun again.
You can touch these cars a bit, and you can push a little bit, but pushing that much, you're bound to make something happen.
They were beating and banging like it was.
I enjoyed it.
We got, what is that? Vasquez and Corrido. This is for the 12th spot. As Oquendo closing in on Corey Allen now, battling for the 2nd position. But let's keep an eye on Vasquez. Wow. Let's keep an eye on Corrido and Arends battling for 11th. Corrido passes. Vasquez looks inside. Doors closed on Corrido.
Corrido gets the 1 on Vasquez. It was terrifyingly fast, but yeah, it looks like unfortunate. Ed Boyles looks like he might have gotten collected in that incident too, with the Sandoval and Arends.
We got a replay. Is that Eddie Boyles in the 88?
Eddie Boyles. Oh no, he just happened to spin at the same time, not collect it. It lumped their incident together internally.
And this is Oquendo. Let's see. Is that Oquendo again?
It's Oquendo and Corey Allen. Corey Allen taking up the 2nd spot, 6 seconds back from Alvarez.
Through the turn 16. So now, Manuel Sandoval's been black flagged by race control. I did not catch why because my volume's a little low, but he is all over the track in front of Akadis, and I think that might have been classified as intentional or retaliation or something like that. That makes sense. Or aggressive driving. A black flag for the 420.
Do we know what kind of penalty it is? A drive-through or just a stop and hold? Or
I don't know. I do not have that information unless you were trying to dig it up yourself. I don't really know.
I don't have it either. Now that we have live stewarding again, I can show the new stewards the control box so they can let us know.
Excellent. Because right now it's just a giant black flag next to Manuel Sandoval in the 420. Rafael Sosa, Armando Arends, Ramon Vasquez battling for 10th. They are within 6/10 of each other. Into turn 1. And Arends got really loose mid-corner there in car number 7. And Manuel Sandoval, I think it is... well, we'll see here if he passes the pit box or if he drives straight through. I'll keep an eye off monitor.
Well, look, it looks like it might be a drive-through.
No intent to pit. Drive-through penalty for car 420. You read my mind. Heading back to this battle for 2nd, Corey Allen, Christian Oquendo. Last time around, Oquendo was actually faster than Alvarez and Corey Allen, but Alvarez has gapped by 7 seconds ahead of Corey Allen. Let's run on board Christian Oquendo, and the sun is completely set. So enjoy a lap in the dark here in Sebring. Down to the turn 7 hairpin. Oquendo a couple car lengths back. Couple gear shifts down. Last lap, he equaled Corey Allen's lap time, but they were 0.6 of a second down on Hector Alvarez. And I'll tell you what, Cameron Dick matched their lap time. So did Travis Newsom. So 2nd through 5th ran nearly the exact same lap time. I don't think this battle's over at all for 3rd. Or sorry, for 2nd. And I don't think the battle for the AM class win is over either. Travis Newsom, Miguel Alcrudo battling for 5th overall, 1st in class, half a second between them. Big a battle, Brian. We keeping an eye on this one?
We're watching this one, yeah. We're going to keep an eye on this one.
As track time 9:07 in sim, completely pitch black. At the 3.74 mile, 17 corner, Sebring International Raceway. Ooh. Cameron Dick, a little bit of connection issues. And Bryan, with the new update that launched, he's going to have some issues if he keeps blinking, correct?
He should. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't want to ever see it work, just because I hope nobody has that issue. We know it's going to happen at some point to somebody. Wouldn't it be fun for the first race of the season, or the first race half for the new season of iRacing, for it to happen?
Into turn 1. Apologies there. My cat decided to jump onto my computer. I was a little concerned she would turn it off. Didn't want to do that. So here we are. As Corey Allen and Christian Oquendo, there's no way that's 3 seconds. According to timing, they're 3 seconds away, but it looks much closer than that. Cameron Dick, Travis Newsom, Miguel Alcrudo, Kretschmer, and Padavani for 7th.
3 seconds? Corey Allen and who?
Apparently, Cameron Dick is 3.5 seconds away from Oquendo. It just doesn't seem... That doesn't look right. They look super close compared to...
Let's zoom out here.
What do you think? But here we are.
I'm trying to zoom out even more.
We take a look from high above.
I'm trying to find a
camera. Moment.
Oh, Josh, that's way more than... That's 3 seconds.
Newsom to the inside against Cameron Dick. Battling for the 4th position, and if I'm Newsom, you gotta get this pro class car in between you and Alcrudo. But also, it opens up a can of worms. Cameron Dick slides it, still slides it. They split him like Zonta Hakkinen and Schumacher in Spa in '99. Side by side through turn 14 to 15. Alcrudo 2-for-1 special, as Cody Erdman would say. Can he get it done through 16? Side by side through the corner. I thought Newsom cleared him. He did not. They're still side by side. Cameron Dick will now have the slipstream down the Ullman Straight. He's got 2 cars battling for the AM class win. What does he do? He sticks behind Newsom in the 19 and wisely backs out of it. As
He's going to be able
Newsom,
to get on the
Alcrudo,
inside of
and
Alcrudo.
Cameron Dick. Down the front straightaway. Alcrudo looks inside on Newsom. Just an update on Allen versus Oquendo. That running order has not changed. Newsom, Alcrudo, top 5. Dick, Kretschmer, Padavani, Timms, Arens. The rest of the top 10.
They are on top of each other. Got some good
I want to
racing
correct
going on
myself. Uselessly correct myself. It was not 1999. It was 2000. I was a year off, but I got the drivers correct regarding that pass at Spa those many years ago. So Padavani's half a second away from Kretschmer. Sosa and Carrito are within a quarter of a second. Palermo and Bacatus are within a quarter of a second. But if you're Hector Alvarez, Brian, you love this. You're 7.7 seconds ahead of your nearest rival.
Yeah. Hector Alvarez could probably eat a snack and drive right now and not be too concerned.
As Allen holding second still. Oquendo third. Newsom in fourth, holding off Alcrudo. And they've dispatched of Cameron Dick. It's not like they've ran too far away from him, but these two are still going to have a great battle for the AM Class win. We've got about 6 minutes left. See what will transpire here in Sebring. And I just want to give another shout out real quick. I know I gave you a shout out earlier, Bryan, but I see the picture that he posted internally in Discord. The man's got like 4 monitors. It's a brawl. Speaking of a brawl, Kretschmer and Padovani for 7th. They were side drafting down the Ullman straightaway. Padovani backed up the corner, thought about turning in. He was going to hit the wall, but he'll have a better run off the corner. Will we get some slipstream from the Acura of the Mustang? Kretschmer defends. He's going to have to head back driver's right to make turn 1. Padovani might benefit here. Braking for turn 1. Over the bumps. The Ford is not happy compared to the Acura. Exiting the runway down to turn 3. 2 car lengths. Middle of the road was Kretschmer. Go ahead, Bryan.
I like that you missed the point of that post.
I didn't pay attention to the full picture.
Oh, it's okay. Good.
Am I supposed to?
I'm glad you haven't.
Are you watching practice right now, Bryan?
I'm getting inspiration, Josh. I'm getting graphic inspiration.
That's awesome.
That's what I'm watching.
Listen, that's something I can't watch until tomorrow or later tonight. My wife will kill me, though. Let's see. Pick a battle. What do we got? You can't spoil practice for me. Nobody can. It's not. We can't do that. I have to watch it tomorrow when I get home from work. Okay. Let's see. We have Oquendo and Allen. Half a second. Alcrudo's 0.3 away from Newsom for the battle for the AM Class win. I don't think this is anywhere close to being over. We've got 4.25 minutes left to go. And my friend, if we didn't have the new NASA Rallycross Masters race happening in approximately 20 minutes, I would be watching some practice. But I also promised my wife that we were going to watch an episode of the Grand Tour. So that takes precedent. Happy wife, happy life.
I thought that got canceled.
I've learned that.
Am I wrong?
It did, but we're stuck in 2019.
Oh,
we're like season 4 out of 6. Yes. We're rewatching it. So thanks for hanging out to the Josh and Bryan podcast, which is part of the TORQ Sports Car Series. As when the races are a little bit of a slow burn like this, it's just a little bit of a talk show, Bryan, with some racing sprinkled in. But it's been a good race, considering only 26 cars tonight. It's been a really good race.
We got only 26 cars tonight, but the battle for the AM Class victory is still on. I mean, it's only 3/10 between Newsom and Alcrudo. Alvarez gone from Corey Allen. There's nothing really going to happen there. I think Alvarez is even cooled
Cameron
down
Dick,
a little
we can
bit.
pick him up. He slipped, streaming Alcrudo down the back straight. Down 6 into 7, peeking to the inside. Half a car length. They're even in the braking zone. Porsche versus Porsche. This puts Cameron Dick. They touch! And Alcrudo goes off the road. This is not what Alcrudo needs to see with 3 minutes left.
I wonder if Alcrudo's going to get a slowdown for going that far off track.
No penalty. No, he did. He got a penalty.
I was going to say.
In the 544. I would be fuming if I'm Miguel.
Yeah, I was going to say, you typically don't go that far off track and not walk away with something. Now back all the way up front, Alvarez. I think he is... He might have taken my advice and had a snack while he's driving. He was 3 seconds down to Allen last lap. But he might just be taking it a little easy, just securing his victory. He's got 6 seconds. He's got 5 seconds up on Allen still.
There was a massive wobble in turn 1, Bryan.
From Alvarez?
Oh, yes. Yes, it was
so it was almost race over.
As Darrell Waltrip used to say, he crashed. He just didn't hit anything because it was... It was full opposite lock in turn 1. But that's the thing, and I mention it all the time. We're looking at Oquendo versus Allen. We might see a pass into turn 1. We remember mentioning Ayrton Senna, 1988, Monaco Grand Prix. He was gone. Everybody knows the legend of that race, as we're actually on the white flag lap. Everybody remembers that race when Senna was gone, and calmed down for a minute, he crashed and lost the race. So, speaking of, Hector Alvarez... 5.3 seconds ahead of Corey Allen. We look at Oquendo versus Allen still for the second spot. Quendo hits the curb with perfection through turn 3, 4, 5, and then Big Ben turn 6. He really might have one shot at this. Right side's into the dirt, car length away. Slipstreaming will we expect to send down the straightaway to turn 7. He slices to the outside to let him know he's there. Deep on the brakes, closes up the gap. Not yet. Alvarez, we're not missing anything up front.
Yeah, he's halfway through this lap. He's coming up on some lap traffic. Trying to get him past him right now.
If I'm Miguel Alcrudo, I am losing my mind because I potentially lost the race win because of the pro car trying to interfere. But there's no rules in regards to that. You're racing your competitor. It doesn't matter what class he's in. So just a product of GT3 racing. As this gap has hovered around 3/10, 4/10, really the entire race. We're going to head back up front to Hector Alvarez. Had a couple weeks off after finishing on the podium the first 2 rounds of the season. Finished second in Road Atlanta and 1 in Fuji. A couple weeks away. Came back. Thought he was kicked out of the league because he had to rejoin, but he had an amazing start after a great qualifying run. And Hector Alvarez will round the final corner under the lights in Sebring, flashing the headlights. Alvarez dominates in Sebring, Florida, taking victory. Corey Allen will hold off Christian Oquendo for second. Oquendo third. Travis Newsom right off the overall podium, but he will win in the AM class. As Cameron Dick lets Alcrudo by as a consolation prize. At least that's what I'm assuming happened. As Kretschmer holds off Padavani for the 7th position. As Darius Timms come home in 9th. Arenz, what could have been, he will come home in the 10th position. As Vasquez in 11th. 12th will be Sosa. 13th, Dan Corretto. 14th, Jeff Cartwright. 15th, Wilton Palermo. 16th, Piquetas. 17th, Cato. 18th, Manuel Sandoval. Seguenza, Requena, Hidalgo. Looks like that'll be the remaining running order as we finish up. Somerville, Boyles, Odell, Doive, Ortiz. The remaining finishing order. So let's see if we've got any of our interviews as we take a second look at the classification. As Alvarez, Allen, Oquendo, the podium. Newsom wins an AM. Alcrudo, Dick, Kretschmer, Padavani, Timms, Arenz, Vasquez, Sosa through 12th. And just confirmation. Corritto, Cartwright, Palermo, Baquetas, Cato, Sandoval, Seguenza, Requena, Hidalgo, Somerville, Eddie Boyles, Michael Odell. What could have been after without the brake pedal failure. Doive and Ortiz through 26th and last in this field. As I'm only seeing Corey Allen. So if we want to have a quick chat with him.
We can have a quick chat with Corey Allen. Give me one moment, and we'll see what happens.
As we're going to bring in Mr. Corey Allen. It's Josh and Bryan. You got us?
Yep, I got you guys.
As the domination of Hockenheim and still a good run tonight, P2, but you had nothing for Hector. It seemed like he was gone from the rest of the field. Talk me through your race.
Yep, I feel like I burnt up a lot of my stuff early in the race trying to get around Christian. And he just ran away with it because we all fought each other at the start. I think that's probably why he ran away with it. But he was quick all night tonight, so I'm not surprised he won. It was at least a fun race, though.
As talk me through with the race starting with a little bit of sunlight, and then the sun goes away. So transitioning from a little bit of sunlight to darkness. How difficult is it when you don't have any lights to spot the turn-in points, braking zones, stuff like that?
As someone who's had to do a 2.5 hour finishing stint for the 12 hour, I've gotten used to it. So I've driven from sunset to night before. So I've kind of adjusted to it. I do race IMSA here a lot. So that's probably why I've gotten used to it so quickly. It was really cool seeing the new lighting and stuff though, as the sun was going down.
As anyone you'd like to thank for the P2 result tonight, my friend?
Everyone at EHM, so Chris, Ethan, Nathan, Brendan, everyone at EHM, thank you. Thank you guys for broadcasting the league. And thank you to TORQ for putting on such a good league and everything.
All right, my friend. Good run, and we will see you next week.
Yep, see you next week.
Is that all we got, Josh?
Now I can hear you, Bryan. Apologies. I have to mute that tab so I don't hear two voices. Were you just talking to me?
Is that all we got?
I think that's all we got. Nobody else is waiting for us, so we have points. Want to take a look at
not
those real
yet.
quick?
You're going to read the programming notes while I finish typing in the finishing order.
I can absolutely do that. Our next round, or our next broadcast, rather, for the Automotive Sports Network is round 2 of the NASA Rallycross World Championship. That's Saturday the 15th at 2 p.m. Eastern. From Atlanta, you'll have Bryan Sawyer, myself, Josh Mertz. For that, NASA Rallycross Futures will kick off Week 3 of 2025A for NASA Rallycross. That'll be the 16th, 8 p.m. Eastern. Josh Darnell and Stephen Moreau on ASN+. Following that, on ASN Live, will be the NASA Rallycross Lights World Championship at 9 p.m. Eastern, also at Indianapolis, as NASA Rallycross Contenders. On the 17th, that's Monday, with Justin Robichaux, Bryan Sawyer, 9 p.m. Eastern. And our next round for the TORQ Sports Car Series will be at Silverstone in the United Kingdom on the 20th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. As after Silverstone, you'll see TORQ has another week off, so we'll enjoy the Thursday night. If you like what you saw tonight, be sure to like and subscribe to the Automotive Sports Network on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube, and ring the bell to be notified of our live streams weekly, along with our short-form video content if you'd like your content broadcasted, or if you'd like to join the team, ASNTVUSA.com. Just a reminder that cameras all season on ASN, brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/WSimCams. And thank you, Andrew Cardinale IV, for all of your camera support. Do we have points yet, Bryan, or do you want to do final thoughts?
I think we have points. We'll see if they finished updating over here.
Theme. Hector Alvarez, Corey Allen, Ruiz and DeLeo tied. Colon, Aquendo, Arens, Padovani, Dick, and Coxon. The top 10. No Coxon tonight, I don't think. And no Ruiz. So the couple position drops there. And in the AM class, let's take a look at that. Alcrudo, Newsom, 11 points between them. Cato, Ramos, Izquierdo, apparently up 32 positions. Then Tommy Kelly, Doive, Palermo, Cartwright, Seguenza, and Hidalgo, the top 10.
Drop weeks will do
Teams
that,
Championship.
Josh.
Is it SimPR? Let's see in the Teams Championship.
No.
Still I-75 holding their own against the Puerto Rican teams, but it is I-75, EHM, RS. Oh, there's only, 5 Puerto Rican teams in the top 10? Something's going wrong there. In the Manufacturers Championship, I want to say that Porsche is out front, but I could be wrong on that. Let's take a look. I'm right, by 6 points over McLaren, Corvette, Acura, Ferrari, Lamborghini, Ford, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz, rounding out that order. Took a look at programming notes, took a look at sponsor plugs, got some points, got some results.
We did
Bryan,
a
give me
little reverse.
final thought. We'll get some final thoughts and close this one up.
It's a good race for the dark. I don't think they were all prepared for the dark, but we did good. Everybody survived. Most people survived. I think we only had like 1, maybe 2 retirements due to crashes, but aside from that, it was a great night of racing.
It was a good one, even with 26 cars. You figure sometimes smaller fields is either going to be chaos or clean, and that was super clean for that first lap. We had some issues down in turn 7, some issues in 13, some argy-bargy in 17, but either way, it was a super fun race, and interested to see if Sebring, if it was just a blip because of potentially it being Sebring or the night, or people turned off from the rain, who knows. The checkered flag falls on the evening here in Sebring. On behalf of our entire production staff and producer Bryan Sawyer, my name is Josh Mertz. Thank you for joining us for tonight's coverage of the TORQ Sports Car Series from Florida, as we congratulate our winners, Travis Newsom and Hector Alvarez. And just a reminder, Don't miss the second round of the NASA Rallycross World Championship on Saturday from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Until then, so long, everyone.